Right, so it's not quite as glamorous as the Cannes Film Festival,
Glamorous, no.
but Comic-Con
Yes.
is significantly less pretentious. So I am happy to be here.
Oh, yeah. And it's flashier because there's more explosions and stuff.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
The lights are far brighter.
Draws more of a crowd. People
Yeah.
like to watch train wrecks, and boy, are there train wrecks in the comic book industry.
What? In the comic book industry? Never. All right. Now, you might not have seen James and I at Comic-Con. That is because I went as Zool from Ghostbusters.
There is no Kevin. There is only
There
Zool.
was only Zool.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't see me.
Yeah.
The issue was my costume was good, but it was also 50 pounds, and I was sweating like a dog within the dog costume. And so now I have a cold.
Yeah.
I think just because I was congealing in my own juices.
Congealing in your own juices is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever heard you say.
Which is lucky.
And
if you spend enough time with me, it gets pretty
I'm glad
raw.
we have it on record here.
What did you go as?
I went as Slimer from Ghostbusters.
Oh, how
you
was the costume?
might not have seen me though, because a Peter Venkman caught me in his ghost trap pretty early on, and
No
I was
shit.
I was just stuck in that for the whole Comic-Con.
Did you even see the Comic-Con
No,
trailers?
I heard a lot of wooing. That's about it.
All right, well, we're going to have to catch you up, man, because we got 5 Comic-Con trailers
Yes.
that we have to conquer tonight.
Conquistadors! No, conquerors, conquistadors.
You got time to figure it out, don't worry.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Turn the lights, grab a seat, pour yourselves some whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're trailer hits. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're trailer hits.
All right, for real, though, welcome to Trailer Hitch.
Welcome, everybody.
I am Kevin.
And I am James.
You'll be able to distinguish me by the scratchiness in my throat. You'll be able to distinguish James by the pep in his
the
voice.
charm.
The charm.
The wink and a nod. The smile in my... The gleam in my eye.
All right, well, let's talk about what we do here at
No, I'm
Trailer
not done
Hitch.
yet. The twinkle. The
We
little...
rate trailers on a
Sorry.
scale of
Okay,
need to see.
I'm done.
Need to see more, or never need to see. If James and I both give something a need to see rating, we go out, we see that movie, report back to you guys in a segment called Trailer in the Rearview, where in which we talk about the trailer and the film in retrospect. Kind of compare and contrast them, see how they prepped us.
How they measure up. Yeah.
That's a good way to put it, James.
Yeah.
Thank you. But tonight, we are not necessarily going to be rating trailers. We're going to be ranking them.
I love ranking shit.
Yes.
It's like everyone gets a say, but I'm going to tell you what's the best.
So you get to hear that in a little bit in our Comic Conquerors segment. There were 5 trailers, as we said, that dropped.
Much less than last year.
Yeah, I know. They were really tempering it back.
Yeah, if
it's mostly because Marvel was like, oh, we can't let you know any spoilers about our universe.
Yeah, it was like so weird. It's like you're the biggest comic book part of Comic-Con. It's like, what are you not having a presence at Comic-Con for your movies?
It's like, we already know there's a Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a spoiler if you let us know that there's going to be a Black Panther 2.
Exactly.
But before we get to that, we got to stop by this teaser showroom. Ladies and gentlemen, the teaser showroom is where James and I take a look at a teaser trailer. Now, teaser trailers, by nature, don't really give us enough where we can give an accurate ranking of them.
Not really.
By design, they are made so that way you want to see more of this film.
Which is our middle rating.
Which is our middle rating. And so eventually James and I got sick of giving middle ratings and decided to stop into the teaser showroom, where the teasers live in their own natural habitat.
Yeah.
So we're walking into the teaser trailer showroom. There is a guy over there, a salesman, if you will. This dude looks like he's just lifting weights in the middle of the showroom floor. He's not even paying attention to us. That's good. We don't want anyone to sell us on anything. We want to make our own decision.
That's right, yeah.
And it's a good thing we have to make our own decision, because the first thing we're talking about is Roma. Now,
Roma, okay, yeah.
Roma is the teaser for the new Alfonso Cuarón movie. What we have is a black and white shot of a floor, and there is water rushing across the floor, kind of being mopped back up.
Yeah.
We get some title cards to let you know this is an Alfonso Cuarón movie, so pay the fuck attention. And then you get a couple more title cards where, this is a great movie. So, keep paying the fuck attention. So you see like this water lapping over the course of maybe about 30 seconds or so. And then you see in the reflection of the water a plane going overhead. That is the teaser for Roma.
I'm 100% not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that in the reflection.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is definitely a plane going overhead.
Does it look like it's far in the distance, or is it kind of big?
Yeah,
through
no,
the reflection?
it's far in the distance. It would be like if you were to look up and be like, oh, shit, plane's going.
Is there audio of a plane?
Not that I remember.
Okay. Interesting.
I was a bit too distracted by the visual flourish of the trailer.
Would you say there's a flow to it?
I would say that there is a flow.
There's a water flow to it.
I get it. All right, so obviously this gives us very little to go off of.
Yeah.
This is more or less just like a visual announcement. Yeah. And if this is an indication of the style of the movie, I would actually be like mildly intrigued because this is not Alfonso Cuarón's typical bag. I mean, granted, he had like his bigger budget stuff with Gravity and the third Harry Potter movie.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, I feel like only established directors can get away with a teaser like this.
Definitely.
Only people who go, oh, the new blank blank movie is coming out, here's the teaser.
And if you don't believe us, I defy you right now. Go, shoot your own version of the Roma trailer. Throw it on YouTube. And if it does get buzz, write in at trailerhitchmailbacks@gmail.com because we want to be kept in touch over how you have to bullshit a 90-minute movie. But in all seriousness, yeah, I mean, even Alfonso Cuarón's earlier stuff, like Y Tu Mama Tambien, those were all fairly straightforward films. And so if he did just all of a sudden snort a bunch of Jean-Luc Godard movies and was like, I'm experimental now, I mean, I guess in a sense that's sort of interesting, but ultimately, I don't really find Godard films that engaging. Like, for the most part, I'm pretty bored during them.
I mean,
so, next to nothing out of this thing. We wanted to note it just because, obviously, yeah, Alfonso Cuarón, you kind of have to pay attention when his name comes up. But in all seriousness, what?
Yeah. Even the titles that are present don't tell you anything about the movie, right? I mean, they maybe say something like, "Oh, it's personal," or it's like, "This is a emotional," or it's a smaller story, or whatever. I don't know, but it's very little and ambiguous, and but like you said, there is a rhythm to it that is almost hypnotic.
Yeah,
I would say it's not visually interesting, but I feel like the sound effect of the water is really what is more hypnotic about it. When the water does slosh into frame, it's a little bit more interesting. Plus the actual words that come on, like directed by blah blah blah, Alfonso Cuarón.
It's going to be really embarrassing if you pronounced it right and then I corrected you in the wrong way.
Sure.
Go on.
That and the title, like Roma, like they kind of like wash off with the water.
Yeah.
Like that was interesting too.
Was cool.
And the yellow pops off the black and white, tile floor. Cool. Sure. Like I said, this only works with a director that you've heard of, though. If it's just
100%.
like Johnny new kid on the block who thinks he's the next Spielberg, has a new movie coming out, and this is the teaser, I'll just be like, fuck you, essentially.
So here's what we're going to do. Because the salesman over here has now moved on to the bench press, he is definitely distracted. We're going to, while in the teaser trailer showroom, wrap in another segment we do, which is called backseat driving. Backseat driving is when James and I get a trailer that gives you absolutely nothing to go off of. We just try to deduce what the actual trailer is.
Totally.
All right. So, and this will actually be like a moderately serious pitch. It's about a janitor. This janitor is clearly terrible at his job because the water keeps sloshing into the exact same place. And then you get that plane that's going overhead. And you catch him daydreaming for a little bit. Man, wouldn't it be cool if I wasn't a fucking janitor right now? Wouldn't it be cool if I was on that plane? This janitor, this is all within the first, 5 minutes,
Of
right?
course.
The janitor then gets onto the plane, and he's like, just take me anywhere. Taking a page out of George Clooney at the end of Up in the Air, right? Lands in a country he doesn't know the language, and he just goes, and he experiences that. And that's when he gets roped into the biggest kidnapping ring this side of Europe. And then he's got to fight his way back to his janitorial job. James,
Okay.
what do you think?
Wow, that's a lot similar to what I was going to do, actually, Kevin.
Okay. All right,
Mine is kind of opposite, though. He starts off as a kidnapper, someone who just kidnaps people, and to make ends meet, the money just isn't in it as much as it used to be. And so he decides to take up a second job of becoming a janitor. And in this, he decides that, you know what? Kidnapping? Probably not the best racket to be a part of. I think I'm changing.
Well, the money's drying up, so
I'm changing as a person, I think. And then the plane is just, I don't know, his dreams flying away. I don't know, some bullshit metaphor for some garbage thing. That's my pitch on the movie anyway.
Okay.
Bottom line, we don't know what this movie's about.
Anyway, you can go ahead, give this trailer a watch. Let us know what you think this is. If we get one that we especially like, we will absolutely read it on the next episode.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what people take away from this.
But now that we're leaving the teaser trailer,
should we get out of this?
Yeah, man. Let's hit the road. Let's get into Comic-Con.
Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back until you get to those Comic-Con trailers. Okay,
all right. Well, I feel like this is. I feel like the best possible segue we can do from Roma, which involved a lot of splashing water, is just to get right into Aquaman. What do you say?
And that's a fantastic segue.
Permission to come aboard.
Right. So, Aquaman, directed by James Wan.
I've heard of him.
And James hit us with it. Because, you're a resident comic book guy.
Thanks. Between the two of us. Yes, yeah. I suppose I am. Not that I'm very knowledgeable, but between the two of us, I guess I am the guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Right.
Aquaman talks to fish. Cool. Doesn't actually talk to fish. He more implies things for them to do.
That came through in the trailer.
Yeah. Did it? Yes. Yeah, so this trailer we got I'm trying to remember his name. It was said in Justice League by Arthur Curry is Aquaman's name.
His name is Curry?
I believe so.
Delicious. All right, go on.
Don't check me on that.
All right,
anyway, you just didn't think seafood and curry would go well together, but here we are. Here we are, isn't it?
With a full film. Yeah.
He is the son of the Queen of Atlantis.
Yep.
And just a lighthouse guy. A guy who works in a lighthouse. Human, not Atlantean.
Okay.
And they get it on, I think. Probably. I don't know how
Presumably.
reproduction works for Atlantis people, but I assume it's similar to us. And they have their little aqua baby, and he grows up to be the Aqua Man. I mean, first Aqua adolescent, then Aqua teenager, then Aquaman. It goes in stages, and they're all present in this trailer.
Definitely,
is what I have to say. It's this movie appears based on this trailer to be about claiming his roots into the kingdom of Atlantis, retaking the throne that is rightfully his. His half brother, played by Patrick Wilson, is kind of challenging his claim.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the setup we get with that. There's some side villains in it. I believe Mantis or Manta or something like that.
Yeah.
Man Ray. It's not Man Ray. That's from SpongeBob. Anyway. He's someone from the surface world that is going to help out Patrick Wilson, I think, or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a fucking professional comic book knowledge person.
But you know more than me, so
I do,
you
yeah.
have this mantle. All right, so, I mean, I had said, does it come through, it comes through that Aquaman is able to communicate with fish. Did this come through for you, too? This is Thor.
Yeah. I can't claim credit for this, but it's like Thor and a little bit of Black Panther thrown in, too. With the challenging for the throne type stuff. But yeah, like you said, you know what? Thor actually has a lot of that stuff too. It's like he's supposed
especially
to be...
by having it be a half brother that's coming for the throne. It's like, okay, sup, Loki.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Loki's not even half. He's adopted.
Related, wink.
Yeah.
That sort of bad.
Yeah. And Black Panther, I mean, Michael B. Jordan was his cousin, I believe, right? Killmonger was T'Challa's cousin. And again, there was challenging for the throne there.
Definitely.
Black Panther wasn't so much a fish out of water story or a human in water story. I don't know. I tried. Anyway. Anyway. But Thor was. The first Thor movie was. That was its whole shtick.
Yeah.
Which I feel like this will take some elements
Yeah,
from.
that was definitely a human in water story.
Yeah. But the difference being Aquaman is part human. So he grew up like among humans and Atlanteans?
Atlantean?
Atlanteans.
Or is that what people from Atlanta are called?
They're not real, so no one can be offended. PC as fuck. We continue the streak here. Heyo. Anyway, until they find the lost city of Atlantis, then we're in deep water. We're in deep water there, Kevin. Thank you.
All right, but anyway, about the trailer.
Yeah, so specifically, people have been waiting for this trailer a long time. This movie's been in development a long time. It was announced even before Justice League was really gearing up. Finally, they were like, we're going to have a trailer at Comic-Con. Like, you know, just relax about it.
Settle down, everyone.
Tread water for a little bit until we give you the Comic-Con trailer. There's a lot of humor with
I want more water
There's
puns.
so many puns we can do with
make
water.
More water puns.
Yeah.
Go.
So we finally got this trailer. It was really hyped up. And to be honest, it was kind of a disappointment, in my opinion. I thought there were some visually interesting things in it. I think he plays a decent Aquaman.
Yeah.
I think he's charismatic and fun. But for the most part, I don't know really how to feel about this trailer. It just kind of had a lot of stuff. It had a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff.
You can't say it didn't pack in a bunch of different kinds of stuff. Because it did. It definitely did. It wasn't lacking. It had fish people. It had sharks. It had humans. It had Atlanteans. It had redheads. All the rare things.
No, the cup overfloweth with this trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the reason why the Thor thing is kind of getting under my skin is because...
Is it the long hair? It's the long hair.
No, I mean, like, I'm thinking about this more, like, conceptually.
Of course.
So, I mean, like, from a character standpoint, I don't really see what Aquaman's challenge is. It's like, you're king shit, but now someone's coming from your throne. And everything in this trailer is just kind of like, yeah, he's probably going to figure this out.
Yeah.
And, like, the cool thing about Thor was the fish out of water / human in water aspect of that. And kind of, like, him trying to learn this entire other world. And the cool thing about seeing the Thor character over the course of the 3 movies, although we really don't like talking about the second one.
Hey, look, he was in Avengers, so we can still say 3 movies.
Is you get to see his character grow over the course of that time.
Yeah.
And right now, I know it might be sort of unfair to compare and contrast a character who we've seen grow over the course of multiple films versus a character that is literally just starting out. But honestly, the character who we're just starting out with is effectively this incredibly strong dude that's from a different world who's sort of arrogant and someone's coming for his throne. And I've seen this story already.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, there is a little more hint at a conflict of, I think it's Patrick Wilson wants to bring like a war against the surface dwellers or whatever you want, the humans.
Oh yeah, there's the Black Panther influence.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, there is that too. So it's not just a claim for throne thing. It's also a Aquaman wanting to stop that assault on a half of his life. Like that's, and the planet. Probably not just him, not on a selfish level, but also just, humanity would be extinct, I think. But so let's stop that.
The movie could like earn my good graces if at the end Patrick Wilson in the last fight gets caught in like those soda rings or whatever. Just gets stuck in one, and then like Aquaman has to float up to him and be like, I mean, you kind of have a good point. I can understand where you're coming from, but you're already caught.
I think the new thing to say, Kevin, would be straws. Like, if a straw gets stuck in Patrick Wilson's blowhole or whatever the fuck he has as an Atlantean.
Just blows up like a balloon.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there whimpering in the corner, and people are just like, oh no. Yeah, that's essentially it. Straws. Straws is the ultimate weakness of the Atlanteans. Thank God Starbucks got rid of them. It was kind of disappointing.
It wasn't really that impressive.
Yeah.
And
unimpressive.
Do you want to now get into Godzilla 2?
Let's rise to the challenge of Godzilla King of the Monsters.
You're a monster. I'm sorry.
Go Go Godzilla is the next movie that we're talking about here.
Go Go Godzilla.
Isn't that a song?
I don't know.
He's stomping Tokyo.
I thought you were doing like
Go
a
Godzilla.
Go Go Gadget Godzilla.
Well, I mean, that's more or less what Vera Farmiga is doing. So this is what's going on in the trailer. We got Millie Bobby Brown with hair. So right there, what? She's on a roof, and there's a big-ass storm a-coming. We get some VO. That's basically like, ooh, things are rough now.
Yeah.
And Millie Bobby Brown fucks off into a building.
She's really
shelter.
good at looking at being terrified at a CGI threat.
It's almost as if she's had 2 seasons of practice at it.
Kind of strange.
Okay. All right.
She runs into the building. That's what you were saying.
On to other things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we get Vera Farmiga doing this press conference where she's like, look, guys, here's the deal. Humanity, kind of a scourge. We're sort of fucked up Earth with all of our machinations or whatever. So what we'll do is we'll go into the center of the Earth where there are these protectors. And these are...
Titans, I believe she calls them. Yeah.
Titans. And we're going to bring them up. They're just going to start wiping shit out. And then we basically start over.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, that doesn't seem like a good idea. And she's like, well, I kind of already did it. And then we get a bunch of hero shots, or villain shots, of said Titans, which include Godzilla, which include King Ghidorah. These monsters are all screaming and shit, and everyone's like, we probably shouldn't have woken them up. And Millie Bobby Brown...
Well, I mean, I think the correct phrasing is, are you out of your goddamn mind? Which is what Kyle Chandler says.
Yeah, and Millie Bobby Brown is Vera Farmiga's daughter in this.
And Kyle Chandler's daughter, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she calls her mom a monster, and she's like, yeah. And that's pretty much what we get out of this trailer. And so I think from a visual standpoint, I was actually fairly impressed with this. I did actually really like the color palette that was going on.
Pretty blue.
Very blue.
Bathe a lot of things in blue.
Bathe a lot of things in blue.
All of a sudden, you know it's important.
And so we get a lot of those hero shots of the monsters. I thought those all looked fairly impressive.
Yeah.
As far as the setup for a Godzilla movie goes, this has to be the goofiest. Global warming, you know what we should do? Let's just start wiping out humanity.
The audacity is staggering.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I watched this trailer the one time, and it finished, and I just had to go, wait, what? So, wait. What's her name? Vera Farmiga. Like, I was just like, it seemed like while I was listening to it, I'm like, oh yeah, she seems pretty confident in her speech. I'm sure she knows what she's talking about. And then it was later that it finally registered. I'm like, I think she's crazy.
Yeah.
I think she's lost her mind.
That is why everyone should take a public speaking course.
And she's just very calm and collected about it. But she's crazy. Like, you don't bring in a fucking mountain lion to, get rid of the rat problem or something. Like, that's essentially, it seems like, oh, I'm going to bring this in to take care of this.
Well, I mean,
but then you have a monster problem.
It's a mountain lion, 3 bears, bobcat, and bobcat Goldthwait.
Right.
You're bringing all of those things into your house.
You know what I'm talking about, though? It's like, oh, we have a rat problem. Okay, we'll bring in the cats and take care of them. Well, now you got a cat problem. Like, you have a cat infestation problem. Okay, we'll get in the dogs to take care of the cats. And so, well, now you got a dog problem. It's like that whole, that old chestnut. But with monsters and kings of said monsters.
Sure.
Which, is Godzilla, apparently. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, again, like from a visual standpoint, and to be fair, that's what I thought of the 2014 Godzilla. Wow, visually, like this looks really neat.
I still never saw that one. So you're talking about the Bryan Cranston one.
Just YouTube the Halo jump on
which
YouTube.
is in the trailer.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah, all right, cool.
I've seen that part, yeah.
But yeah, from like a content standpoint, this is just bizarre.
It's bizarre, but I kind of liked it.
Okay,
You know, I thought it was so weird and crazy, and I think that
very Shape of Water in its tone too. Sally Hawkins doesn't help.
I was
going
gonna
to
say
Hawkins
she looked exactly like her character,
lovingly at a monster. I was
coming
like,
out of the water. It's
how
like,
the fuck do you get typecast as the woman that falls in love with monsters?
she just stares at Godzilla emerging from the water, going, "Oh, you've grown." It's like, all right, relax. But yeah, so visually, I think it's stunning.
Yeah.
I thought the music choice was beautiful. I think it was Claire de Lune.
Yeah.
While the monsters were like, you were getting insert shots of the monsters, and great. Like, these are supposed to be horrific monsters. Like, causing death and destruction all over the world.
But it definitely doesn't lose sight of the scope of the monsters and the awe.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I really kind of liked this trailer a lot. I was more interested in this than I was the Bryan Cranston trailer for that movie.
Totally.
That trailer was great, but it was like very serious. And while this still kept its serious edge, it's telling you right up front, this is going to be ridiculous, though, too. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like that, especially coming off of Kong Skull Island, which I thought was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And these are all supposed to be tie-in movies now. You know that, right? Sorry, you don't know that, apparently. Listeners, pay attention. This is leading to Godzilla versus King Kong.
What?
Yes, 100%. That is where this is going. The Monarch, the Monarch Company or whatever... That is the same company from Kong Skull Island that goes to the island.
It's
John Goodman's, Monarch thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. Don't say, oh, no. I am so for that. Are you kidding me? That is going to be absolutely insane and fun and stupid and ridiculous.
I don't know, man. I haven't seen Kong Skull Island, so I guess I have to pull back. Because otherwise, right now, I'm going to be completely real with you. Which one breathes fire? I'm picking that one in the fight.
Look, I think it's technically atomic energy, but...
Fucking, you say potato, I say fire, whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I have an opinion of who will win. I'm just saying the movie will be fun.
Yeah.
So I think...
You would have to hope!
I think this trailer looked fun. Anyway, let's move on.
All right, yes. So speaking of ridiculous, we got Shazam next.
Oh, hey, what's up? I'm a superhero.
So on we go with Shazam.
Yeah, let's do this. He's a fucking superhero, man. Let's talk about him.
So we start with an orphan, if you will.
Yes.
Not quite Oliver Twist sad, but definitely has some darkness in him.
I mean, he's sad, but you can, it's implied that, maybe it's just angst.
Definitely
right?
scans a lot as angst.
Yeah.
So this kid gets into a foster home.
Billy Batson. That's the character's name.
So gets into a foster home. He befriends the crippled boy.
The kid from It.
Yeah, who is also in the foster home.
Yep.
And I'm just going to come right out and say that the kid from It, my favorite part of the trailer, that kid is super funny because the main kid gets led into this room and crippled kid goes, dude.
Things get real Game of Thrones around here. Yeah.
And then he's like, dude, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. Oh, kid with a disability. He's got it all. And I'm like, I love this kid. I want to know more about him. And then we stick with
wearing an Aquaman shirt, I might want to point out to you.
And then after that, we just stick with the fucking gloom and doom kid, who eventually comes to find a superhero by the name of Shazam. I'm going to let you piggyback on this because I don't know much about the Shazam lore.
I don't know a whole lot about it either. With DC, I'm very not great with, other than the main few. But I do know a little bit about Shazam. He, I think it's an old wizard or god or something named Shazam who pulls his powers from ancient gods.
Yeah.
Like Hercules and Mercury and whatever. And Zeus probably, because there's lightning bolts, right? I mean, he's got a lightning bolt on his chest. He better have some fucking powers from Zeus.
You'd hope so. Right?
Anyway, so he stumbles upon this entryway of this old wizard guy, and it's not. I guess he doesn't stumble. He's drawn there because this guy thinks he's worthy. This kid is worthy of being a superhero. and he bestows upon him the power of Shazam.
Yeah.
And which allows him to grow up into Chuck from, the show Chuck. Zachary Levi, right?
Yeah.
I believe. So we got a big style scenario. Big Tom Hanks, big kid, wishes to be big or wishes to be a superhero or whatever. And he gets his wish. Yeah. But he's still a kid at heart. He's still a child. And so that is the setup. He goes to his new adopted or foster brother, and because his foster brother is the one who's super into superheroes. Because in this universe, Aquaman exists, Superman exists, Batman exists, and he owns all these like memorabilia from it. So he's super into this shit, and he's like, "You need to teach me how to be a superhero." Essentially, that's the setup.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the trailer, and then the rest of it is kind of them figuring out his power set.
A hint at a villain.
Yeah.
And,
brief hint at a villain. Yeah. But yeah, what did you think about it overall? I know you liked the It kid.
Yes.
But how about just in general?
Knowing
nothing about Shazam.
In general, I ended up enjoying it. I thought that the humor was, for the most part, landing with me.
Yeah.
Biggest note of the thing I can't change, man, just make the kid from It the main character. That's such a more interesting character to be able to turn into a superhero.
But then you don't get to see him, because then it's an adult.
No, but you get to see him when he becomes a kid. You can't tell me at some point in the third act, all of a sudden it's like, zoop, and he's just a kid again, and he's got to, as a kid, fucking fight.
You're right. That is 100% going to be a beat in this movie.
But
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, so I mean, like Gloom and Doom Kid, I was like not real feeling. But the actual hero, who's just kind of this fucking goofball,
Zachary Levi,
I think does bring a much needed levity into. Levy is bringing the levity into the DC universe.
Of course, yeah.
And I was really appreciating it for that. And bear in mind, a lot of the trailers that we're going to be talking about tonight, whether it's a shot of water flowing over a floor, or whether it's a big budget superhero movie.
Or a lot of water flowing over every floor.
Thank you.
Aquaman.
I asked for more water jokes.
You did.
This is my own fault.
You led me into it.
But I did find that the levity of the Shazam trailer really helped break everything up for me. And so, overall, I was pretty solid on this. How about you?
Definitely. Especially because I watched Aquaman first, and then I watched this. And I think, I was disappointed in the Aquaman trailer. And I saw this, and I'm like, this is so different from anything we've gotten in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Wonder Woman, I loved Wonder Woman, but it's still very serious.
Yeah.
It's not... there's great humor in it. There's great humor in Wonder Woman, but it's not goofy, really.
Right.
Where this is, like, it leans hard into, no, this is gonna be a kooky time. And it's supposed to be that way. And I think Zachary Levi does a good job. I think It Kid does a great job.
Yeah.
Mark Strong is clearly the villain in it. Yeah. Didn't get much of him, but that's okay. And yeah, like some of the humor wasn't a big fan of, but some of the humor landed really well. Or, crashed after takeoff really well. That was a joke about him flying. Liked it. I liked the trailer a lot. I was like, I want to know more about this character.
Definitely,
yep,
yeah.
There you
go.
go.
It's like the first DC property, maybe outside of Wonder Woman, where I'm like, yeah, I can't really trace this to another Marvel movie within the past few years.
Oh,
and it's actually really nice
interesting.
to have
Right.
something where I can like specifically walk away and say this kind of has its own style
right
now.
Yeah.
And that's really refreshing and exactly what I've been asking for out of the DC universe.
I mean, yeah, for however long it's been a thing.
Yeah,
right? But even Wonder Woman, which I said I loved Wonder Woman, but even Wonder Woman, you saw the trailers for that and you're like, oh, it's Captain America meets Thor.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And you're right, it's hard to peg this into any of that. There really isn't something you could, like, peg it into.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. Shazam!
All right, so we're Shazamming our way out of this, and we are now going to morph into a different wizard, Fantastic Beasts. The Crimes of Grindelwald? Is that how you fucking
I think
say it?
technically you pronounce it Grindelwald. Like the W is like a V sound.
Whatever.
Go ahead, Newt.
Ridiculous.
Anyway, here's Wunderwall. Sorry.
All right, so Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
is, So we start off with Dumbledore kind of like teaching some kids some magic.
Yeah, young
Neville-
Dumbledore,
Yep.
meaning middle-aged Dumbledore.
And who's the kid that comes up? Is that a Longbottom that struts his way up?
It looks very much like a long bottom, doesn't it? No, that is actually Newt Scamander, the Eddie Redmayne character, but as a student.
Oh, okay.
As a student of Dumbledore's.
Right. So the Red Commander comes up, and Dumbledore's like, "Fuck's this?" And he's like, "It's a desk. I'm really afraid of a desk job." And he's like, "We'll do a spell to make it not seem so scary."
Do you know the spell, Kevin?
Ridiculous. Wasn't that the spell?
I mean, ridiculous, but yeah, it's
For
close.
fuck's sake, yeah. You can't just have a normal word be a spell, can you, Jake?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that would get really confusing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would just be like walking down the street and be like, "That looks ridiculous," and then all of a sudden, it's a fucking python. Whoops.
It would get very confusing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so you're also my Harry Potter guy, so I'm gonna popcorn it to you. What the hell is going on?
I'm kind of your Comic-Con guy.
really in general, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be able to hold my own during Glass, but we're not there yet.
Excellent. So, first off, have you seen the first Fantastic Beasts movie?
Nope.
You didn't? Okay. Well, this is a sequel to that. So, what's nice about it, that movie introduced you to these characters that you're going to be spending a lot of time with in this movie.
Sure.
But I think what's important is, at least from this trailer, this feels more like this movie feels more like a prequel to the Harry Potter series than it does feel a sequel to the first Fantastic Beasts movie.
Okay.
I mean, it's necessary to be a sequel because you're introduced to those main characters, but this movie seems to be about Grindelwald and Dumbledore, and that is stuff that was hinted at in the books, in the movies, and it's some of the most interesting backstory stuff that you get in that series.
Yeah.
Dumbledore explaining his journey and his confrontation with Grindelwald. And now we're actually going to see it. So this feels more like a prequel to those things than it feels like a sequel to that first one, which was just about... It ended up being about Grindelwald as the villain a little bit, but you didn't know it because it was Colin Farrell and not Johnny Depp. And it was also about the beasts that were fantastic in the briefcase. And then they got out of the briefcase and you got to get them back in the briefcase. Anyway, look, I like the first movie. I wasn't over the moon about it. I thought it was a fun continuation of the magical world of Harry Potter, but I was a little disappointed in it. And I found it a little lackluster.
Sure.
Not very exciting. So I'm hoping this really gets back to the excitement level that we left off at with like the seventh Harry Potter movie, seventh and eighth Harry Potter movie, because you left us on such a high with what that was going through, and then it felt like we took kind of an exciting step backwards for the first Fantastic Beasts movie. The magic in it was wonderful, and it was fantastic, but like, I want to see some intense shit now.
Yeah.
And Grindelwald and Dumbledore is where it's going to be. And I'm excited about it.
I was kind of bored. Sorry.
Okay. Don't ever apologize to me for it. But yeah, it's is it because you felt lost, or this is just that type of fantasy thing that you've just never been into?
I mean, for me, it's more so... and granted, I missed the first Fantastic Beasts movie. And so, again, I mean, if you or anyone listening is a huge Harry Potter fan, I feel like your mind is already made up. And, like, genuinely, I hope you enjoy it. For me, I felt like I got all the Harry Potter I needed with 7 books and then 8 movies.
Did you read all of them?
I did read all of them.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And right now, the world that they're selling me, I actually really did like that beginning sequence where it's like all the kids going up. With,
Yeah, I think Jude Law is going to be the takeaway from this movie.
Definitely, yeah. I found there to be a lot of warmth in that, and that's something that I think really gets downplayed when people talk about Harry Potter, especially in like those beginning books and movies. There is this like real sense of wonder and fun with it, and seeing Dumbledore have these kids confront their fears, however silly they may be, and then find ways to overcome them is exactly what you want out of magic. And I found myself really taken by that, and then it was like, there's a bad guy that's threatening the wizarding world. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But, I mean, granted, within the timeline, this hasn't happened, but they fucking killed Voldemort. And, like, if you can kill a dude whose name you can't even say, I don't really think there's going to be an issue with Johnny Depp.
Right, yeah. That's a fair point.
I do... I was at least taking away some positives from this. Because we did a Hitchhikers for the very first spot.
I believe we did, yeah.
And I similarly was just like... completely like just
sure, yeah,
every emotion faded from me.
Yeah.
But at least the beginning of this like had some of the charm that I found as a kid reading the original Harry Potter series.
Yeah, okay.
So like it wasn't completely bleak, and I don't mean to completely shit talk it, but as a whole, this didn't really do that much for me.
I totally get it. This did a lot for me. I was actually pretty excited about it, and that's mostly because, like I said, the Grindelwald Dumbledore relationship and history is some of the most interesting things I found in those books.
Yeah.
So to see it actually explored on film is something that is just wildly exciting for me. But I think you make a lot of valid points. And like I said, I wasn't blown away by that first Fantastic Beasts movie. It was just kind of meandering. To be honest, it lacked excitement. It lacked wonder. It lacked wonder, too. You know what? Let's not shy around that. You're talking about opening people's minds to, like, this magical world and how wondrous it can be. And I just didn't get that from that movie. It focused more on just making the muggles feel dumb. You don't know what magic is, you dumb muggle? Oh, you're cute, though. Like, in a condescending... Like,
yeah.
they're, like, nice to the muggles. They don't think like Voldemort or Grindelwald, but they're also condescending as fuck to muggles.
Yeah.
And, like, that comes across in aces in this movie.
Yeah.
Or in that first movie. So that was something that was just, like, weird for me, coming as someone who is a muggle.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah,
know?
for sure. But, yeah, and I think that's kind of the takeaway is... It was, in retrospect, really nice to have Harry Potter... being a wizard and having zero fucking clue.
He comes from the Muggle world. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's the fact that you as a wizard, or like coming in from the perspective of a wizard, learning all of the wizarding world does kind of help mitigate sort of the condescension of having that one character where every once in a while Eddie Redmayne's like, bet you didn't know this guy was a wizard, dumbass. And yeah, that's actually a really good point too. That does kind of come through, especially in the tag in this trailer. And yeah, like that does kind of get grating too. And it is, I know, because people have such an attachment to the series and have read so much of it and seen all of the movies and have either read the play or paid stupid amount of money to go see the play.
I read it.
Same. That people now feel like they're quote-unquote in on the joke or in on the experience. So it's like fun to kind of like point and laugh at some dude who doesn't know what a wizard is. But like, yeah, I mean, coming from that dude's perspective, that dude's had quite a month. Like... his entire world just fucking shifted.
Are you talking about the Muggle in this movie?
Yeah.
Which I don't know the actor's name. I'm really bad at. He's like a Josh Gad lookalike.
Like Dan Fogler or something.
Okay. He's really good. He's one of the takeaways from the first movie, even though he's constantly being like condescended upon for being a Muggle. He does everything in stride. He has some of the best laughs in the movie. And at the end of the movie, he's got some of the most heartwarming stuff. It's incredible. It's so good. The weirdest part of the movie, though, is that he's not your main character. Newt Scamander is your main character, who's like this socially awkward person who just like doesn't like think like a real human being. So it's hard for you to, and I know you don't like it when movies make it super easy for you to just like substitute yourself in it. I forget what that's called. But do you know what I mean?
Lame is what it's called.
Right. But I think you need that a little bit. And
oh yeah, and like certainly when you get into big fantasy worlds, it is helpful to have a character, because then otherwise you have the Ellen Page character who just asks questions and then gets exposition dumps thrown at her.
Exactly.
And so like, oh no, I totally understand that. And I think that is helpful, but at the same time, I think they were able to do that effectively by making Harry Potter the protagonist who did need shit explained to him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. In this,
because you were learning along with the main character, and so you could substitute yourself into Harry while at the same time recognize his own journey as a character.
And I'm saying, and all I'm saying is, and I'll stop at this, is the main character of these new movies, Newt Scamander, has no sense of discovery or wonder on his face. Every single thing he comes in contact with, he has this look on his face like he's seen it before, and that is just not that interesting.
That's totally fair.
And I think it boils down to that. It's just like, oh, I'm a wizard. I've been a wizard my whole life. Oh yeah, you're impressed by that? Of course you are. You're a dumb muggle. And it's like, that's your main character? And it's uninteresting. Anyway, I love this trailer, though. Okay. Bottom line, I was really excited. Especially the Nicolas Flamel part at the end, really tickled me. That was really fun.
All right, well, thankfully we didn't shatter your enjoyment of the trailer, but now we might be shattering some glass.
Ooh!
No way.
Is that Stone Cold Steve Austin's entrance music, or is that Samuel L. Jackson's Bones? This is Glass.
Why not both?
Oh man, what
316.
What a good fucking tie-in that would be, because like that was like a huge deal. The end of Split was like, wait, it's a part of the Unbreakable world. What if the tie-in at the end of this is in the world of the WWE, James?
No, you're all in the Steve Austin world.
What? Okay, so M. Night Shyamalan's new bag, and this opens with, what's her name? Sarah Paulson?
Sarah Paulson, yep.
Yep, she's talking to some people off camera who's like, here's the deal. This is what's going on. So, I'm a psychologist. Studying you guys, this is a pretty new field for me. I'm studying people who think they're superheroes. We get a reverse shot on Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable. We get Samuel Jackson's character,
Mr. Glass
from Unbreakable.
I think his name is like Elijah something, and Bruce Willis is David Dunn.
Oh wow, shit! Look at that memory.
David Dunn, I remember because it's alliteration, like most superheroes, and Elijah, I don't remember, but continue.
And then we get Kevin. Is the main guy from Split, but he has so many different personalities.
Exactly.
Who the fuck knows who you're
the
talking
Beast.
About? Yes.
Yeah.
So, we got these three characters who are pulled in and are told, like, we're here because you think you're superheroes. And they're like, yeah, but we kind of are, though. And you have Bruce Willis's character who is able to get someone's life story just by their touch. He can also protect people, beats the shit out of whoever comes in his path that's bad.
As long as it's not water.
Right.
Because that's his main weakness. So let's just hope he doesn't come up against Aquaman.
Wait, hang on. Is this actually a thing that I'm not remembering from Unbreakable, or is this a Signs reference?
No, it's not a Signs reference. That is a thing. David Dunn's, like, weakness, quote unquote, is water.
Why does M. Night Shyamalan's bag with the weakness being water?
I don't understand it.
Alright, but then we get, the guy from Split who's like, I'm like, got multiple personalities, but one of those personalities, he effectively gets super strength. And Mr. Glass sees this and is like, I could probably fucking use this guy.
Yeah.
So, based off of this trailer, Mr. Glass and Kevin team up. And then I would have to hope that David Dunn comes in and tries to save the day.
Yeah.
But basically, really the big draw in this is fucking M. Night Shyamalan pulled an M. Night Shyamalan and baited and switched us. We did not realize we were in for this, but it is here now, and now the question is, what do we think of it? And as of right now, sort of intrigued. Shyamalan as a director had his ups, he's had his downs, and right now he's kind of on like a mild up. And so what I was noticing in this trailer as they were going through each of their quote-unquote backstories is it looked like it was shot different. And specifically the Unbreakable stuff, I'm like, man, Bruce Willis's character, he looks like this is shot like it's from Unbreakable. That's really cool. Are they seriously going to go through each film and each character is going to be shot in the style of the film, and then every perspective you shift to is a different visual style? Because that could be really neat. And then I realized it was all just used footage from Unbreakable. And then was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine, I guess.
That's one way to do it.
That's one way to do it. But as far as what I'm being sold out of this, it seems like it's fine. It seems like it would at least be entertaining. And at the very least be a superhero style that I think kind of augments the genre a little bit, because it's in theory set in the real world. And like these are legit 3 characters that are able to defy physics, that are able to defy everything.
And that was M. Night Shyamalan's whole thing with the first Unbreakable movie, is like he wanted to make a superhero film that like wasn't really a superhero film, and I think he succeeded with Unbreakable. I think Unbreakable is a fantastic movie.
Same.
I know a lot of people think it's overrated, but like I think it's fantastic. It's so good. And then with Split, the movie was fantastic. I loved Split. The thing that made it tie into Unbreakable probably was the dumbest part of the movie, mostly because of its execution, not because of what it's implying. I love the fact that they existed in the same universe, but I thought that scene was dumb. It was stupid. Yeah. But I can't wait to see what this world is going to be.
Yeah, no, overall, I did enjoy this trailer. How about you?
No, I enjoyed it a lot. And I think a lot of it might boil down to my anticipation for how this will... I'm just fascinated. How is this going to go? I'm very interested because I love Unbreakable. I really enjoyed Split. Sure, let's roll the dice and see what happens in this thing.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating to me.
All right, man. Should we get to ranking these trailers?
That was it. That was all 5.
All 5
let's fucking dive in. Let's rank them. Let's do it.
All right, James. I'm ready with my number 5. Are you ready with your number 5?
I'm definitely ready with my number 5.
My number 5 is Aquaman.
Oh my god, how dare you. My number 5 is also Aquaman.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
We're going to match up on that one.
Yep.
It's just, it just wasn't, it wasn't that great. It didn't...
I want to say it didn't meet expectations, but I didn't really have that many expectations.
Look, it was better than being waterboarded, right?
Well, that was another water pun, I guess.
It was.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's a pun. That was just a terrible water joke.
Number 4 is Fantastic Beasts.
Your number 4 is Fantastic Beasts. Okay, we're going to start deviating here.
Okay.
And my number 4 is Godzilla. King of the Monsters, which, like I said, I've liked all of them from here on out. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was weird and different, and I'm very interested to see where this world is going to go. But in terms of excitement level, I've never been a big kaiju monster Godzilla guy.
Yeah.
So that's why my excitement is a little tapered.
That's fair. My number 3 is Godzilla.
Climbing the charts a little bit.
Climbing the charts a little bit.
Ascending to the throne, if you will.
Again, the circumstances were in which the kaiju come up, it's fucking silly. But everything else, I was, entertained by the trailer.
Yeah, of course. All right, my number 3 is, believe it or not, Shazam.
Ooh.
Yeah, Shazam, ton of fun. Easily, the better of the 2 DC movies that we got. Yeah, I'm very interested to see DC go in a different direction. I'm not saying I have a lot of confidence in it. I'm just like, I just want to see something different, And that's what Shazam should be.
My number 2 is Shazam.
We are just like...
For the exact same reason.
Playing leapfrog here, yeah. Okay, my number 2 is Glass.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love it. I'm super excited to see, like Godzilla, where this world is going and how it will play out. Is this going to be another Unbreakable / Split? Is this going to be another The Happening? Who knows? It's a coin flip at this point for M. Night, but he is on the upswing, so I am excited about this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 1 is Glass for the exact same reasons.
All right, good job. And
that only leaves one.
Yeah,
number 1
it was relatively low for you. That
Yeah.
would be Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Sure.
And what it comes down to for me is, and it's a little biased, but it's my love and attachment to the Harry Potter universe.
Yeah.
It's just always going to be there, and I think if it can still awe me with heartfelt stories about good and evil, I think I'm still going to keep going back. And like I said, I'm excited about the visiting the Grindelwald Dumbledore history. So that's why this one takes the cake for me. The Comic-Con cake. The CCC, if you will.
Well, all right. Well, we just had our Comic-Con cake, and we
Yes.
ate it too. But before we go, we got a Runaway trailer on our hands.
Runaway trailer.
Yes, so
Come back.
Runaway trailer is where we just go off on a topic. Tonight, we are going to be...
Random. It could be anything.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't have to be trailer related.
Tonight it is trailer
But tonight
related.
it is trailer related.
So we're going to talk about the 5-second preview for the preview. So if you are on YouTube, what you'll notice is you click a trailer, and this is almost always for like big budget movies. There's 5 seconds. It's effectively a trailer for the trailer, and then you get into it. Now, James and I, being two guys who clearly watch a lot of trailers,
Yep.
usually annoyed as shit by this, because we're like, hey, we're already here, why are you doing that?
That is 5 seconds I could have spent watching another trailer.
So I do have an article up that talks about why these exist,
Yeah,
what their function is.
of course.
I'm not telling James a goddamn thing.
Don't
he
you dare.
He just gets to pitch to me what he
Yeah.
thinks.
What's the deal?
What's the deal?
Yeah. So I assume all of you listeners out there are familiar with this concept. If you've watched any trailer on YouTube, I'm sure you've experienced it before. You click on it, it's just like boom, boom, boom. It feels like the end of the trailer and then title card. And then it's like, then you get that green band of, you're about to watch a trailer. And I'm like, okay, you just showed me a whole bunch of shit from it, but fine. So that's what we're talking about. I don't know, man. I've constantly been irritated about it. It's not a thing of where I feel like it's spoiling something for me for the trailer.
Yeah.
Although if it were something like Star Wars, I think I would be annoyed with it for that reason. Because I want to experience it in the moment, you know?
Sure.
But most trailers, that's not why I'm upset about it. I'm just irritated about it because it just seems so unnecessary. Why is this here? Why is this a thing that has all this? Because it's relatively new. This is not something that has always been involved with movie trailers on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a relatively new thing.
Past couple of years.
Exactly. And we have constantly been complaining about it every time we pass trailers amongst each other. And it's just like, ugh, all right, yep, skip through the 5-second runoff. And the reason I feel, and we've talked about it before, and this isn't about the article that you haven't told me yet.
Sure.
But we've agreed that we think it has a lot to do with attention span of people.
Yeah.
The shareability or the clickbait or the, trying to catch someone's
Marketing of it all,
you're trying to catch someone's attention in a split second. Because people's attention span has just grown shorter and shorter with more and more technology.
It's so easy to scroll nowadays.
Exactly. When you're scrolling through social media, no matter what it is, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, if there is a video up of a trailer, they don't want the first thing you see to be that just green band thing that says you're about to watch a trailer, or even
People are like, whoa, I didn't commit to 2 minutes.
exactly, or even an establishing shot of a castle. You're already going to lose people who are scrolling.
Yeah.
Even if it's a beautiful shot of a castle, gone.
Yeah.
You need to catch their attention in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And that is the birth of this movement. It has to be. We've talked about it.
So I'm just going to jump in because I also want to get on this Runaway trailer.
Yes.
I'm going to spoil it right now. Yes, that's exactly why.
So we're geniuses. Is essentially we cracked the code.
It's almost as if we're professionals. But I think a plea that James and I have as two guys who watch a lot of trailers is, if you want to do that for Facebook, for Twitter, for Instagram, whatever social media in which you do have to grab someone's attention.
The scrolly ones.
Yes. Cool. If that's how you got to sell it, sell it. If I'm on YouTube, though, and if I put into YouTube Glass trailer, I want to just watch the fucking Glass trailer.
You know goddamn well I just want to watch the Glass trailer.
I'm already here.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting at. And it's also a big thing for YouTube ads as well. So like when a YouTube ad plays, you only have 5 seconds before you can hit skip ad. And that's why they're 5 seconds. Now that said, again, especially if you're going to be on like Apple trailers, if you're going to be on YouTube, any of that sort of stuff. And James and I both have come from post-production backgrounds, whether at present or in the past we have worked in that field.
Yep.
We know full goddamn well it is not that hard to output a second trailer.
Especially with less content.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's just our humble plea as trailer critics. If we could just differentiate them, that would be really great. But, like, bear in mind, this is the definition of a first world problem, baby. Basically, what I'm getting miffed at is that there's 5 seconds before the trailer. Now, if it ever hits a point where the 5-second runoff ends up giving something away in the trailer, okay, we have, like, more of a legit reason to be like, fuck this. But until that point right now, it's more just...
That hasn't really been an issue yet, but yeah, we're knocking on that door, I think. And
we are.
But yeah, it's not hard, guys. You don't even need to do 2 exports, Kevin. You do 1 export and just chop off the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, you save it, copy it, chop off the beginning. That's all you need to do. And that, boom, you got two different ones.
In your esteemed post experience, sir, how long would that take?
I mean, you gotta find an axe somewhere. You gotta sharpen it a little bit, and then you gotta get a chopping block. That's very important because you don't want things just willy-nilly.
Well, those are a dime a dozen in an editing room.
Of course. We're looking at possibly 15 minutes. No, obviously shorter. This is ridiculous. It's digital content. This is snap at your finger type of stuff here. Anyway, we don't want it anymore. So basically, fix it, planet Earth.
Right now.
Fix it, internet. Do it.
And with that plea, I think we are going to take off. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much to Danny Schmitz from Lost in the Name from the awesome intro song. Thank you so much to Casey Clowers for the beautiful outro song, which you'll be hearing momentarily. Thank you so much to Rachel Ashley for her amazing cover art. Feel free to hit us up on Instagram at Trailer Hitch Podcast. Feel free to hit us up on Twitter at Trailer Hitch Pod. You can find us on Facebook. You're more than welcome to email us at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. And for reals, we would really like you to write in and tell us what you think is going on in the Roma trailer. Other than that, James, do you have anything to add?
Just rate and review on iTunes, guys.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a click and a little typey type. Do it. We got 2 more.
Did we?
Ratings since our last episode.
Shut up.
So we're at 14 ratings now. That's pretty cool.
Is it still positive?
It's still positive.
Oh, that's
I'm
nice.
I'm still itching for that negative review, Kevin. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but I just won't feel validated unless someone is critical of us.
I don't know. I like if people are happy with it, then I'm just going to accept that people are happy with it and rest assured knowing that we are providing the Lord's content. That said, I feel like me just throwing the bird at the fucking Harry Potter trailer is probably going to earn me some ire, which, if you're listening, again, I hope you enjoy it. I'm just not going to be there. But anyway, unless James has something to add.
I added it. I'm done with it now.
I think we're going to leave it at that. Thank you all so much. We hope you have a wonderful couple of weeks.
Take care, guys. Bye.
You can't mount holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Which is underlined by one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard is Claire de Lune.
It's a close second to the thong song for me, but go on.
Okay, well, you're not wrong. Cisco for life is all I'm saying. Anyway, fucking A. What was I fucking... You totally derailed me with the thong song, you asshole.
That's how beautiful of a song it is.
I guess it is.